Was Joseph Parker the victim of contamination? Who cares, man? Let's talk.
Push the weight and no flex. Flex alive is one in the six. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You ain't run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. All right, let's get to it. It's an article out of Boxing Scene, and it reads, "Was Joseph Parker the victim of contamination?" And my response is,
Who cares?
I don't care. I don't care. And let me read you this article, and I'm gonna explain why I don't care at this current junction. I don't care. Article written by a fellow by the name of Elliot Worcel. Boxing Scene. The link will be in the description if you care to read it yourself. I'm just going to read the article and give my opinion. It says, if we know anything about positive performance enhancing drug tests by now, we know that the search for clarity is often long and convoluted, and that an update is seldom satisfying. In fact, usually an update is not an update at all, but instead a way of pacifying the people asking questions and treating the bruise with concealer. So you already know where this article is going. It is a way to buy time, control a narrative. It is a way of showing there is nothing to hide. In the case of Joseph Parker, the New Zealand heavyweight, whose defeat against Fabio Wardley in October was compounded by a positive drug test for cocaine, there is already a sense of impatience. There is impatience on the part of Parker, no doubt. And there is also impatience on the part of those wanting to see Parker clear his name and resume his career. Parker, after all, is a popular figure in the sport and the man whose personality seems at odds with the crime for which he has been accused. Not only that, he is now in his fighting prime. And at the age of 34, the last thing he wants to have in his career is this. He doesn't want his career to stall or worse, peter out. It is for that reason questions are being asked regarding his positive drug test on the day of the Wardley fight. It is for that reason there is a hunger for updates. Quote, a lot of this drug testing we need to get faster. We need to get a cleaner routine. Parker's manager, Spencer Brown, told Box Nation this week. There are a few boxes at the moment in no man's land. They don't know if they're here or there. If you're a young lad, it's not very good for your brain. But Joe Parker, I defend him. Of course you would. He's not taking any drugs. I think there's been contamination. The public will find out about it in due course, and I'm just hoping that this doesn't take forever. Sadly, while it might not take forever, this kind of process does typically drag on and leave the boxer seeking clearance in a bit of a limbo state. You know what? I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stop reading right there. Because the article, the link will be in the description. You can read it yourself. In October, he fought against Fabio Wardley, Truck. I support Fabio Wardley. Had his trainer on my show. He's a nice guy. Fabio Wardley's, he's what I call a sleeper. He's putting in the work. And, you know, you F around, he's next up. I mean, I know y'all high on Moses Atuma, and that's fine. But eventually, they're going to have to meet and get it done. Look, man, all of these things, as far as drug testing, it's amazing how a couple of years ago, when all these guys started popping dirty, I remember when Jarrell Miller popped dirty right before he fought Anthony Joshua. First, he denied it, and then he admitted it. And y'all know I'm not an Anthony Joshua supporter at all. But at the same time, I didn't want Jarrell Miller to go in there and delete him. I didn't want him to kill AJ. That's not what this sport is about. The Tyson Fury situation, right now as we speak, there's Deontay Wilder haters and Fury supporters, if there's any left in America, that will argue me down that Fury's a clean fighter, and ignoring the fact that he killed off camp, and because the whole camp caught COVID. Remember that? When the whole camp caught COVID and everybody was in on that idea, when he caught COVID, but he had to leave the country to go see his sick daughter in England. So instead of having a fight in July against Deontay, I think he postponed it to October, I think. Y'all remember that? When he caught COVID and left the country? Guess who was in that camp? Joseph Parker. You remember that? Remember we was asking this fool, Jared Anderson, the other big baby. He was like, man, I heard they killed the camp because he wasn't ready for Deontay because you was whooping his ass and sparring. And he wouldn't give us a straight answer. Then the camp was closed up because everybody caught COVID. So we asked Jared, hey, do you have COVID? And he wouldn't answer the question. Everyone had COVID, but Joseph Parker was seen at a UFC event in Vegas. And where was Fury's camp? In Vegas. Hey, Joseph, you have COVID? He was like, huh? Now, I took a mental note of that, and him and Tyson Fury are friends. 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 And when I do that for a reason. I always respected Joseph Parker for his heart. He always showed up. He always seemed to bounce back after a loss. So I respected him as an athlete. But I also know what he is. If you search my videos a couple of years ago, some of his, New Zealand / I guess he's Samoan. His boys got locked up for doing something illegal. I forget offhand, but I did a video on it. And this guy's very well connected. If he's not the gangster, he's affiliated with a lot of people who live that life. Okay? He's quiet. He's very quiet. The killers move in silence. And he's friends with Tyson Fury. He's friends with Tyson Fury. He's friends with Tyson Fury. Read that article. Let me give you a direct quote. Let me see if I can find it real quick. In reference to what happened with him in Parker. He mentioned in this article, he made reference to him, quote unquote, partying in the past. Means he's had a few beers, but he didn't do anything to this degree that he's being accused of. Let me explain to you. Here's the quote. I just found it. I wouldn't say recreational drugs, but I went out and had a few beers. That's the old me when I was young, when I was a younger fighter. Now after every fight, all I do is go home, my wife and kids. My life is on track. I'm focused on living my best that I could live and doing the best that I can do. Old habits die slow. And let me say this. These fighters out here would rather get caught with a masking agent than the actual drugs they could potentially be masking. In other words, if it's cocaine, he could say, hey, I got a little niffing problem and I did it. It was kind of close to the fight. I got caught. I'm sorry. But that cocaine could be masking something else where it would have been a bigger deal, believe it or not. What if it was nandrolone? What if it was another ped? What if it was something on that ban list? You would rather get caught for this than that. You know what I'm saying? If you get pulled over and, you know, let's say the cop is feeling generous, you blow it, you're a little over the limit. You're like, man, but where do you live? I'm 2 houses down, officer. And the officer's feeling generous. It's the day before his weekend, and he's going on vacation, and he don't want to do the paperwork. He say, yo, man, park the car right here. Park the car right here. Lock the car up. Here's your keys. Walk home. Get out of here. And he doesn't know that although you're a little over the limit and you can wobble home, he don't know that you got, you know, 2 suitcases full of cocaine in your trunk. He even go through the headache. He didn't know that. That's what these drug tests are. He'd rather get caught. Now, I'm not saying he did this, but I'm saying a lot of these guys, they'd rather get caught for one thing and not the other. Now, I'm not saying he did it, but look who he hangs out with. Look who he calls friends, Tyson Fury. That guy has a rap sheet unlike anything I've ever seen, but he's celebrated because of what he stood against. He stood against the black man. That's what he did. I believe the test. Everybody that gets caught using drugs, they always have an excuse. And they never say, I'm sorry, I did it. As we speak right now, Ryan Garcia is bulking up. He's training with his dad. He doesn't train with Reynoso anymore. He doesn't train with Derek James. He's training with his dad in their house. And he's looking like a Hulk again. And he's back to running his mouth. I 100% believe that he's on that stuff. That's a whole nother video. But this guy, Joseph Parker, he's lost all courtesy that I had for him. It's over with. You did that on purpose, man. And whether you have a niffin problem, because you're this deep in your career, you should know better than to do that. Or whether you was masking something else. I don't respect it, man. I don't respect it. And now you guys are blaming the system that has been elected to keep fighters safe. You're blaming the system and not taking accountability. Every fighter that gets caught, they blaming the system. Ryan Garcia blamed the system so bad that y'all believed it. And it has nothing to do with Ryan Garcia. Y'all just hated that what y'all thought he did clean, which was fighting Devin Haney. It turns out it wasn't clean. And it proved it because he turned around a year later and got beat to the punch against Rolly Romero, a guy that he was supposed to beat to death. You understand? You guys always have an excuse. And I don't respect it. Canelo Alvarez, he blamed everybody but himself. He cheated. Eddie Reynoso's gym, everybody cheated that came out of there. 98% of the fighters that came out of there got caught with something. And y'all give more grief to VADA and the athletic commissions than you do these people that are actually getting caught. And then you blame the system, and then you blame the victims, which are the fighters that they fought against. Fabio Wardley stopped him, and then they caught him. And there's going to be people right now that's going to be like, well, that's further proof that drugs don't make a difference. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Excuse me, I got allergies. But you read the article and you tell me if you believe Joseph Parker. I'm tired of hearing this. And once you hold these fighters accountable and hit them with stiffer penalties, that's when you see a change. I believe the first offense, once it's proven that beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're guilty, you should get automatic 14 months. You shouldn't even go near a boxing gym. Hope you have something in your house. A second offense, it's 3 years. And that's not including The 2 years that you already did. Third offense, you can't fight in whatever country. Kick them out. Kick them out. Now, if y'all want to believe that this guy is innocent, y'all go ahead. But how could I believe what you say when I see what you do? And I also see who you hang with. And I see your Samoan family, you know, in court. Just look up my video on here. Put Joseph Parker's name in the search engine. And I forgot what his family did. Well, his family, his friends or whatever, his Tongan family of friends. And he was in the middle of that. And he's friends with Fury and Daniel Kennedy. No, this is his track record. So this actually makes sense. This guy's not a saint. And I'm tired of this. Was Joseph Parker the victim of contamination?
Who cares?
Because I don't. Bronx on deck.